One of the coolest, most modern modular home companies has just come out, ZenniHomes. They have automated beds, they have automated closets, they have revolutionized the way that smaller homes, tiny homes are being built. But I want to know how they're made, and I'm sure you do too. Today we're going to be taking a closer look in the factory to see exactly how they're made, because the story of how they're made is really cool. Not only is the factory in the Navajo Nation, it's actually being built by the Navajo Nation for the Navajo Nation. And I arranged this whole factory tour as like pop-up video. Remember those VH1 pop-up videos? So you'll see some facts about the factory popping up on the screen, so pay attention. Now let's go on a factory tour, because you know what? They use robots to build some of this stuff. It's kind of cool.
So right here is our cut station for all of the 2x6 walls. It's a machine out of New Zealand that produces all of our studs.
Oh, okay.
So with this equipment, we take raw rolled steel, come through the presses, and everything gets cut. Every hole, every punch hole, every guide hole, every dimple for the screw, all put into place. It then bends them into a 2x6, comes out this end, and then the racks you see is where we stack them. They are pre-labeled for where they go in every wall, floor, or ceiling, so that our crews can easily quickly assemble. And right across from us here, we have the cutting station for the plumbing. Again, all the plumbing cut for an entire house, packaged up and ready. Here happened first, all of the punches on that end.
Okay.
And you'll see the steel come through the rollers here.
Okay.
Pass the printer and out this.
Okay, what's happening now is we got a 16 gauge sheet steel going through the frame CAD. It makes its way through the end feed guide here. As it makes its way through the punch block assembly, it slowly starts to become formed into our C-style studs. That profile that you see of our studs actually become is done one roller at a time. This process is known as cold formed steel. Instead of like a hot formed steel or a forge, this actually presses the steel into the C-shape at room temperature. So it's forcing that steel to make it into a stud. You see there? And then let's go ahead and gotta get it out anyway.
Where are the pieces going in the bucket?
Recycle.
Okay, gotcha.
As you see, the studs will go through each one at a time. Each stick highlight green when it's processing. The next stud will be blue. Everything on this frame CAD machine is done by our BIM coordinator. He does all the software engineering for our interior walls. The frame CAD will read that software and go ahead and pre-designate punch everything that's according to how our plan set is made. All of our studs are SFP specification. We meet each requirement to make sure that we got a straight stud, make sure that's structurally sound, and let's put together build the walls.
So you can see when we get to our floors, they have a web metal bottom. And so again, the entire box is sealed. There's nothing hanging out the bottom like you would have on a mobile. So then you're asking about what we call our line company. So now you've seen this cut and kit, you've seen the sub-assemblies that kind of wrap that. And then all of that gets loaded like an automobile into a chassis. You'll see our chassis as we go around the other side. You're asking if they're in order. They are in an order, but not the order you would expect to see. So this is the most finished one, that's the least finished one. And so unlike a company where we move all of these, we load them in like a rail house. And so that half and this half go together, not this half and this half.
And when did you say the first one was going to be in somebody's yard, or like what?
The first resident will be in Coolidge, Arizona, JR,
Yeah.
who you met last
Yeah.
night. Yep.
So-
he has a residence that's in our yard ready to go for him.
Okay, so 90 days, he said?
About that, they're getting
Yeah.
the permits and then they'll get the site installed.
Okay.
Ready to go.
Yeah.
The install on the site will go fast. Getting the permits is what takes a little while.
So how long does the install? How long?
Install is about 5 days.
5 days.
Well, 7 days to cure the concrete, probably 3 days to put the 2 boxes together.
So under 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
Under 2 weeks.
This is our cabinet shop. So this is all the cabinets get pre-assembled, just like the rest of our sub-assemblies. They go already set on these rolling carts, ready to deliver to the units. in place. The units then load them into spot, load the rest of the appliances and the sink into spot, ready for the countertops to go into spot. I also have to show you, because one of the beautiful things about being in Page, Arizona, this is the view you get from the factory.
Oh, what a dump. Wow.
At the bottom of the hill there, by the way, is Antelope Canyon.
Oh, one more thing. The location of this factory, there's no way I could describe it in a way that would even do it any kind of justice, but I certainly can show it to you. So now we're going to take a 1-minute montage of the location of this factory because it's breathtaking. This is what Mars looks like. It's probably where they filmed all those Mars movies.
So the first 2 steps you see right here. This is one of our steel chassis. We'll show you the jig in a few moments about how we assemble it.
Okay.
And it is all, as you can see, all hard steel. This is 12-inch C-channels at the bottom, 6-inch C-channels at the top, 6x6 steel columns. As you notice, there's a box in the bottom and the plate at the top of each one. All of our units are designed for multifamily, so that is our bolt box. That's how we bolt the units and stack them on top of each other right there. This one is all set and ready to have all of its sub-assemblies load in. Right behind you, you can see today's work. The crew was able to load all the sub-assemblies in one day. They load the floor in first, and you can see they've done all the floor sheeting in place. We use a mega board for our floor sheeting, that way it's fire resistant. And gives us our half-hour interior rating. You also notice that all of the ceiling is already in place, even above the drop ceiling. That again gives us a fire enclosure. Because we designed a multifamily standards, and we have a half-hour rating on the entire interior of the box. In case anybody sets a Christmas tree on fire, the rest of the building's just fine. You can also see all the exterior walls are in place, but none of the electrical connections have been made yet. Our first line company just puts everything into place. Our second line company starts making all of the connections. You keep adding materials until we have a fully finished box.
So is this the same size or smaller or bigger than a traditional container?
Shipping container?
Yes.
Same dimensions.
Same dimensions as a shipping container.
We
Okay.
actually started by looking at shipping containers.
Correct.
It was just so cumbersome to try and convert them.
Correct.
That we found it was easy to build our own shipping container.
Correct.
We want them to shipping container dimensions because then we can ship them anywhere across the country without any special permits for trucking.
Correct.
This fits on a step bed, semi-truck trailer without a problem. We can go anywhere. We don't need a flag truck. We don't need any special ADOH permits to make it move around where we need to.
Okay, got you.
That's also why we build them with the 2 halves and mate them rather than one 16-foot wide container.
Okay.
You can see in this one, that's the wall for the kitchen that you saw last night. That's where your access panels between the 2 of them. This would be your deck right outside of here. This is where your windows walls were looking out onto the deck. That's where the dining room space was, and then as you turn the corner there, that's where the workout and the second sleeping space would be. We'd right now be standing right next to the bed in the main living space. Again, that one and this one mate. On this side, this would again be that bed in the main sleeping space. This would be your fridge and freezer. This is your stacked washer and dryer, which you can see the dryer water connections there. Behind it, the entry closet with the high water heater and the full ADA bathroom right here.
Oh, this is the second room.
This is the second one.
Right. This is where the
Murphy bed.
bed is. Yep. Yep. And then this would be where the kitchen is.
Exactly.
I gotcha.
The kitchen matches up exactly to the wall of the bathroom.
Gotcha. Gotcha. It's all coming together in my brain.
You're getting it.
It's like a puzzle.
You're seeing how all the Legos fit.
Yeah. And then you were saying this, so this piece goes to this piece, right?
So this is just loaded in today.
Right.
That was loaded in yesterday, and you can see all the sub-assemblies in it.
Yeah.
So Monday, if you come back, at the end of the day on Monday, this one will look just like that one.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. All right, I gotcha.
And then you can start seeing from the other end, they start loading in, they do the cross bracing, they load in the insulation,
Yeah.
they load in the interior walls, they finish the interior walls, and And this one, which is the most finished, already has its waterproof barrier on the exterior. The windows will go in tomorrow. So this is our jig.
Yeah.
This is where we turn two-dimensional pieces into a three-dimensional box.
Uh-huh.
For us, when we stack them on multifamily, we can only be off by 1/8 of an inch.
Oh.
And in welding, that's pretty darn precise.
Right.
And so you can see our team uses bolts to be able to get them square and in place. We need to make sure that there's no camber, no tilt, or no bend to any of our boxes. They have to be perfectly square. You can imagine if the walls are out of alignment, you're going to miss the bathroom and the kitchen in that mid pairing. And the same if we start stacking on top of each other, unless they are perfectly square, one's going to be off by a little bit. You go 5 stories up with each one being off a little bit, and you're kind of cantilevering out over something. And so they have to be able to set all the way up. The bolt boxes lock into the place. There's a guide pin that guides them as they're setting them with the cranes. And this is what gives us the rigidity to be able to move them around and ship them without having fear of the plaster or the windows cracking. This is the entry hall closet, and this is the washer and dryer. And as it was pointed out to us, if you have all of your stuff in the closet, in that Ori closet that opens, and your washer and dryers on that side, it would be very nice to just be able to pass it through to the hamper. So we now have this as a double-sided cabinet. So you can put everything in your hamper, pick it out of the hamper, take it to the washer and dryer, put your clean clothes back on top, and those back into your piece. The other thing you'll notice in this unit is, so the slender window that was alongside the Ori bed is now removed. That gives it better structural integrity. The other thing it did is, it was pointed out to us, there was no place in the entire unit to put a bookcase. And so now we have a corner, the only corner in the unit, in which you could install a bookcase.
Okay.
And these units, because they're multifamily, they've optioned out the big window that was here on the back side of the room, because that will be the hallway corridor. The same on the second sleeping space, they've optioned out the window that's on the side, because there will be another unit adjacent to us. And so we have the option to be able to take in or out the windows on the small side. On the large side, we do not option those windows. Those windows all stay in place. Unlike typical multifamily developers where the windows are only on the short end and you have a long apartment, this one has all the windows on the long side, so you have the most amount of light always coming into the apartment, making it feel much grander.
So what is that? What kind of unit?
It is a mini split.
Oh.
It is an all-in-one air handler.
I've always seen the mini splits on the side, like
Right.
on the wall. I've never seen them
This
in the
is the
ceiling.
new improved version.
Wow.
This has a beautiful faceplate that goes over the top of it. This is the air intake here with a simple filter you can clean in the kitchen sink and put back. And then it has 4 vents on either side. These are all computer controlled, so you can select the amount of air that you want heading in each of the 4 directions to cool the house. We have a 2-ton air conditioner on the 640, a 1-ton air conditioner on the 320. The other thing you get, we can see behind you, is there's cross bracing in each of the homes. The cross bracing is designed for the 5-story stack. And so even though you may only have a 1-story unit, when we ask about what their strength is, we can tell you, well, it's overbuilt for you. You have plenty of strength in that. We also ask how we do on wind and earthquake, as you felt on the road coming up, especially between Cameron and Gap.
There's a little bit of wind.
Now wind, and we get the roller coaster.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so these are rated to seismic C category in 120 mile per hour wind.
Okay.
And for those that don't understand, C category is
Everything except the San Andreas fault, I believe. You see them here loading in all the insulation. We use mineral wool insulation in the wall, floor, and ceilings, as well as solid insulation in the areas where we thin up the gap. That gives us the high rating in all of those spaces.
Got your panel in here.
It is ready to be wired in this one.
Yeah.
So this one is right in between. This is a 2.0 model. So not quite what you saw on the factory floor, but this was set up specifically because President Nygren, the president of the Navajo Nation, was coming to visit. The Navajo Nation presidents usually don't visit the the western half of the nation. They primarily stay on the eastern half where most of the population is. But they had heard of what was going on out here. The crew set these two in a different position to start with, and the Navajo tradition has that the front door should face east. So they actually reset them before they finished them. They set the 2 of these, I think, in 3 days, because that was the notice we had the president was arriving. And so you'll notice the front door faces Navajo Mountain facing east.
I have a question for you.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm looking at the ceiling over here, and it looks like, is that water damage, or was that
These 2 units were put up in a hurry, and so they're not actually sealed.
Oh, gotcha.
And so normally what you would see is the decorative plate going all the way around.
Uh-huh.
And what has happened, of course, is since they're not on a welded foundation,
Oh,
there's
okay.
getting a little bit of settlement between the 2 of them.
Okay.
And so there's cracking happening right at the main line.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to know.
Yep.
I'm curious.
We have had water damage. So we had water damage right at the windows in the corner. What we hadn't realized is our architect had designed the flashing in a way that let the water in. And so we were able to luckily replace it in all of the units.
Growing pains.
Growing pains, product development.
Yeah. This kind of stuff happens. What is this
See
span?
the complete span panel over here too.
What is this?
That is the electric panel.
Oh, okay. Oh, you made it look space age.
Span does that for us.
Oh, wow. I love it.
Yeah, it looks like an ivory.
So all your breakers are smart.
Uh-huh.
You monitor them and control them.
With your phone.
Yes.
Now that was a cool factory, I have to admit. What was your favorite part of it? Let me know in the comment section below. Did you happen to like the pop-ups? I want to know that too. That's another comment you could leave for me. To watch more videos about modular homes, you're going to want to watch these videos right here. My name is Kristina Smallhorn, your real estate whisperer, and I tell you all this because good real estate information matters.